to Sweets, Treats, and Eats, the Mini Clinic. I'm Howie Morgasen. On this episode of the Mini Clinic, we continue our exploration of quick breads. So on this one, we're going to do a zucchini chocolate bread, which sounds like an odd combination, but it's really great. So let's start, and it's 2 bowls. We don't need any power tools or anything like that. So we're gonna start out with flour, and we're gonna add sugar. And the chocolatiness comes from the cocoa powder, and this is Dutch processed cocoa powder, which means it's just an authentic chocolate taste. We're gonna put in some cinnamon, and we're gonna put in some espresso powder. Now, espresso powder, you're not gonna taste it, but it just makes the chocolate taste more chocolate. So we're gonna put in some baking powder, some baking soda, and some salt. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna whisk this together to make sure it's all combined. And then we come back, we're gonna work on the wet ingredients. All right, so we did the dry ingredients, and now we're gonna work on the wet ingredients. So into the bowl, we put some vegetable oil, some melted butter. We have some eggs. And then we take the zucchini, which we grated, and the chocolate chips. And then the last thing we put in is some vanilla, and we're gonna put in 2 teaspoons of our vanilla. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is whisk this all up so it gets well combined. And then we come back, we're gonna combine the wet and the dry and set up our loaf pans. So stay with us. All right, now we're gonna put everything together. So we have the dry, that is the flour, the sugar, the cocoa powder. And then we have the wet ingredients, which is the butter, the egg, the oil, the zucchini, and the chocolate chips. Now we're using chocolate chips. You can use nuts if you want to. And there's probably some other things that you can put in as well. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take the wet ingredients and add them to the dry ingredients. Make sure we get all those chocolate chips in there. Okay, we'll put this over here. And then we're gonna mix this all together. And so the chocolate in this bread comes from cocoa powder. There's no like cut up chocolate or anything in it. And I will tell you that the best way to get chocolate into a recipe is with cocoa powder, because that is chocolate in its truest form. And the Dutch processed cocoa powder gives you just really good chocolate flavor. Okay, so we have this combined and everything looks good. So now what we'll do is we'll just sort of wring out our whisk, and then we'll grab a loaf pan. And what we're gonna do, so in the loaf pan, you'll notice we did some preparation. We sprayed it, we cut out some parchment paper, and then we put the parchment paper on top. This gives you assurance that when you go to take the loaf out of the loaf pan, it comes out completely, nothing gets stuck. So it's worth the extra couple of minutes to sort of cut out the parchment paper and put it in there. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab some of the batter and put it in the loaf pan. And so what I'm gonna do is I'll continue to fill up these loaf pans, and then I'm gonna put them in a 350-degree oven, probably for about 30 minutes. And then when I'm done, we're gonna show you what it looks like. So stay with us. So here we are with the finished product. We have the chocolate zucchini chocolate chip bread, and it looks exquisite. You can see that there's a lot of chocolate in here. You can't see the zucchini, and you probably won't even taste the zucchini, but that's what makes this bread so nice and moist to eat. So remember I said you can put nuts in it as well, instead of the chocolate chips or in addition to the chocolate chips, and you can sort of play around with it. So why don't we give it a try and see how good it is. So we'll take a piece from here. That is chocolatey. So you should try this recipe, and we'll continue to explore quick breads on the Mini Clinic. So join us for the next episode of Sweets, Treats, and Eats. I'm Howie Morgasen. On social media, you can check us out on @Sweets, Treats, ETB. And if you want to look at our YouTube channel, just check it out right over here, and you can see the videos and back episodes. So hope to see you on the next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.